This reporter places the blame for all of this squarely on you, the viewers.
Would you say we'd be venturing into a zone of danger?
It doesn't matter what you think.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Bryan Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 59. I'm Bryan.
Again, sorry. I am Spencer.
Welcome to the show, everyone. It is July the 10th. On this day in history in 1913,
Good year.
the U.S. experiences the highest temperature ever recorded on Earth.
Oh, really?
134 degrees Fahrenheit.
Where? Death Valley?
Death Valley.
We've had all these earthquakes and increased tornadoes, and there's hurricanes. There's a lot of things that happen. They happen everywhere in the world, but they happen worse here.
It's true.
And I'm beginning to wonder if maybe there was a reason that only Native Americans lived here. Like, maybe someone came over and they saw a tornado and were like, you know what?
It's true.
I'm going to head back to England and Spain.
Like,
and
of all the
chill there.
horrible stuff that happens in, the third world countries in Africa,
Right.
at least it's a beautiful place. Here we have natural things, or aren't there in insurance policies? Aren't there clauses that say an act of God or something like that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Like you're not protected against this because that's
you gotta
considered
be
an act
careful.
of God.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah. What else? Update for me. My dad is out of the hospital.
Oh, good.
Man, can I go off for a minute here?
Yeah. No,
So-
what would you have done if I would have said no?
I just would have canceled
No,
the show.
sorry.
So this is a PSA, okay?
Upsa?
Do your own research. Okay.
I
I would love to. We should have Dr. Bayham back on because he could give the other side of this.
Ethan Bam?
Dr. Ethan Bayham.
That sounds like a kind of like a celebrity, like a
He is
like a on ER or something.
Dude, remember when you had the ER music? That was rad.
Yeah, I do. I'm the
think
one
you
that
still
presses the buttons. You act like
did you forget about
you
that?
act like he brought it or something. Like
No. I just meant generally.
yeah,
not,
yeah. I got it.
So my dad's been in the hospital.
Yeah.
Acute necrotizing pancreatitis.
At first, I thought you said acute, like
acute.
It's a cute little disease,
Right. Speaking of funny words,
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
I want you to say
Scrotum.
5 times
Sorry.
fast, as fast as you can, the word NISPY.
Mispy?
NISPY.
Nispy.
Yeah, say it 5
What
times.
is that?
Just say it 5 times fast.
Nispy. Oh, God. God, that was stupid.
That was stupid.
That was dumb.
Pen 15.
I will just say penis. You don't have to
That's
trick
true.
me
Hey,
into saying
hey,
penis.
Spencer, say penis
Yeah.
5 times. That's weird. It sounds like NISPY. So anyway, my dad's he's out now, but he had acute necrotizing pancreatitis. He's been in the hospital 3 times.
Okay.
At my current place of employ,
Yeah.
I recruit doctors,
Yeah.
specifically gastroenterologists.
Oh.
And the pancreas is part of the gastrointestinal system.
Okay.
And there's a procedure called ERCP that I specifically talk with doctors a lot about every day because the places I'm recruiting for need doctors who can perform ERCP.
Okay.
And it's another 2, 3, 4 years of fellowship for doctors to go learn how to do this procedure.
Whoa.
Essentially, they stick a scope down your throat, through your stomach, down into your small intestine, and then make a 90-degree turn into what's called the common bile duct,
Mm-hmm.
and then into either your gallbladder to remove a stone or into the pancreas to drain it or to debride it, okay, if it's infected, which is
Okay.
like the same, take out the infected part.
Okay.
And it's a hard procedure to do. That's why they go to so much trouble
Right.
to learn how to do it. And it was initially invented just to take pictures of the pancreas and gallbladder, but then they're like, hey, if we stick another needle in there, we can do other stuff.
I mean, we're in there already.
Yeah. If you want to see something cool, just YouTube ERCP, It's pretty weird to see. They have cartoons. It's not gross. So you can see how crazy it is that we can do this stuff with something on the end of like a scope. It's just really weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
My dad's in the hospital. Let's just go through the story here.
Okay.
He goes to the hospital in excruciating pain. He's there for 6 days. Is diagnosed early with acute pancreatitis.
Mm-hmm.
And basically told you can't eat. All right? That's fine. Your pancreas does the work. It produces enzymes, so you don't want to make it work.
Okay.
Basically, it needs a sick day. So he can't eat. He's in there for 6 days. They release him and put him on a bunch of meds. You know, I think I talked about how he got C. diff, which is the nasty bug you can get. Well, we all have it, but anyway, whatever.
Right.
So he's home, and then he's not diabetic, but because his pancreas stopped working, he now is. So he was home for a bit, went and got some labs drawn. The lab called him and said, hey, your blood sugar's at like 600. You need to go to the ER right now. That was when we were recording.
Yeah, that was last time.
So he goes to the hospital. He's there for like a night, I think, and they send him home.
Right.
And then the doctor said to my mom, hey, if he there's 2 things that you should bring him back for. One is if he gets a fever, and the second one, I can't remember what it was. But my dad got a fever.
Uh-oh.
So they take him back, and he was there for like 4 or 5 more days, just got out 2 days ago.
Okay.
Okay? In the meantime, I'm just having weird feelings. I feel like the doctors aren't really doing much. When my dad went back in with the fever in the emergency room doctor called a surgeon at McKay, which is a bigger hospital.
Right.
And a surgeon looked at the scans and said, I'm not operating on that pancreas. It's too upset. Which makes sense. A lot of surgeons wouldn't. It's a very delicate organ. You just don't mess with it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, fine. That means they need to treat him, get it calmed down, see if they can stop the inflammation.
What doesn't...
So here's what happens.
Upset pancreas can... is it visibly angry? Like what?
Yeah, it has an angry face. So, well, the problem is all your organs are connected. So as soon as one becomes inflamed or infected, it can cascade.
Okay.
Right? My dad's been lucky to not have it cascade. There was a time where we thought his liver might be having problems, but then you go into like multi-organ failure, and it's scary.
Right.
Right now, it's localized to his pancreas. He has what's called it was a pseudocyst, which is just a sac on it filled with fluid. Okay. And there's a thing that happens to it. It gets walled off from the rest of the cyst, or from the rest of the pancreas. Then it's no longer I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. Okay?
Anyway.
So I just don't have a really good feeling. And I talked to my dad, and I was like, why have they? I'm not a doctor, but I work with them, and I feel like this is something that they would look at. The ERCP is meant for the pancreas, okay?
Right.
It's endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography. So it's meant for the pancreas. So in my mind, I'm thinking, shouldn't that be used here? Mm-hmm. They're doing CT scans and stuff, which is great for imaging. It's still the best way to image a pancreas.
Okay.
Well, a few days before, I was talking to one of the doctors I was recruiting about my dad's case.
Really?
Yeah, I was just generally. We were like, we were talking about life, and I was like, hey, it's funny talking to you about this. My dad's in the hospital with pancreatitis, and she was talking to me about it, and she gave me the name of a doctor at the University of Utah who does ERCPs.
Okay.
Because not a lot of GIs do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was before my dad went back. So when he got back in the hospital, I went and visited him. Things just didn't feel right. So I sent her a text, and I said, hey, I forgot the name of the doctor. Will you send it to me, please? And by the way, here's what's going on. And she called me immediately. Okay. And I told her, I said, hey, look, I don't know if I'm crossing any lines here, but if you'd like to know more about my dad's case, I have his chart, his file on my phone. Okay. And I'm like, he just got a CT. She's like, read it to me. And so I start reading her the results of the CT, which is just a physical description of what the radiologist saw. Right. Okay. I get halfway through one paragraph, she's like, stop right there. I've heard enough. He needs to have this drained. He needs to have an ERCP. And she didn't mean emergently, but that's what needs to happen. Right. And I asked her, I said, is it weird at all that he hasn't spoken with a gastroenterologist? And she's like, yeah, that's really weird. Now, the attending physicians are usually internal medicine doctors, which are what gastroenterologists are, except gastroenterologists keep going.
Right.
So he's had 4 or 5 doctors now at this point who were the attending physicians for his case. And we've recorded their report so we could listen to it, share it with the family, see what the prognosis is, what the treatment's going to be. And so she's like, you need to call him. You need to get a gastro consult right away. I was like, well, you're a doctor. How do I ask a doctor for something? You know what I mean? And she's like, you just got to ask. And so this is my PSA, part of it. Just ask. If you aren't comfortable with something with your doctor, ask. Get a second opinion. So I tell the nurse, I'm like, will you please page the doctor, have him come in? He comes in. He's a nice guy. He's younger than us. Well, we've aged out of the med school range. So
Still.
I asked him, I said, look, man, I'm not a doctor, and I mean no offense. But I talk with a lot of gastroenterologists every day. I have people in the medical profession on Ashley's side of the family that are, her uncle is like an administrator at IHC.
Oh, right.
And I actually had texted him in the middle of it, too. Huh. And I said, they're all kind of wondering, and I am too, why a GI has not been consulted here. And he's like, well, this is more of a surgical issue right now. His belief was that it was going to be surgery where the pancreas is behind the stomach, so you have to go in through the back and clean the pancreas, basically manually, open surgery. And that's how it's done a lot.
Right.
Okay. And I said, so I've been talking with a GI. Like I said, I mean, no offense. She says this can be done with ERCP. And he's like, I don't think so. And I was like, look, man, I'm not trying to argue with you. Will you please just call a gastroenterologist? He was supposed to see one in between these emergent visits anyway.
Right.
Will you please just call? He's like, yeah, I'll call. I just don't see what they could possibly do. I'm like, I would just appreciate if you call. So he leaves the room. I'm like, that didn't go well with my dad. And I'm like, I'm thinking about transferring you from this hospital to the University of Utah, where I know there's a doctor who can do it.
Yeah, and probably way better doctors.
Right.
In general.
And he kind of is like, well, let's just see. I'm like, Dad, if I was in that bed, what would you do? He's like, I'd probably transfer you. So I'm like, okay, well, let's give it a night. In the meantime, Ashley's mom is a nurse and saw the scans and sent them to GIs that she works with. And they were like, yeah, this can be either operated on or it can be drained in a couple different procedures, but it needs to be done. And secondly, he really needs to be on a feeding tube because in the last 4 or 5 weeks, my dad's lost 50 pounds.
Okay, I'm a little jealous of that.
But it's not good for you.
Yeah, well.
And I'm like, okay, good. So the next morning is my birthday, it's July 4th.
Right.
My mom calls me, puts me on speakerphone when a new doctor is there in the morning. And she's like, Bri, tell the doctor what you think, you know what I mean? And so I said, hey, last night I asked the other doctor to make a GI consult call. Did that happen? And he's like, yeah, actually, he called like 6 or 7. And he got a hold of a doctor at the University of Utah, Dr. Adler, who does ERCPs. He's like the best in the nation.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm like, and what did he say? He's like, he can do this. He wants to take your dad on. I'm like, well, that's great news. Will you tell the other doctor to go fuck himself? You know what I mean? That's great. That's what I asked for. Right. And I said, secondly, I'm like, I'm asking you to put a feeding tube in my dad now. He's lost 50 pounds. And there's a surgeon at McKay that is willing to talk with you about it, who Ashley's mom had consulted with. He's the one who's like, he needs to be on a feeding tube immediately. So I said, he needs to be on a feeding tube. And he didn't even argue. He's like, yeah, that's probably true. I literally threw my hands in the air sitting on my stairs. I was like, that's probably true? Why wasn't this done? In the meantime, the doctor who I've been working with, that I talked with at work on the phone, sent me an article from the National Institutes of Health about the most common treatment and the most recent update for treating acute necrotizing pancreatitis. And the first thing after just doing straight up imaging is get the patient on a feeding tube. It's been 4 weeks. Okay? The second thing is do an ERCP. This is in the article. I read the whole article, This is from National Institute of Health. This isn't WebMD. A doctor sent this to me to use as an argument, right? If the doctor that was seeing my dad argued with me about it, I was able to pull out this article. So I'm a little distracted the past couple days, not only because my dad is sick, but because of the fuck up here. You know, like what's happening? And
do you think it is because they don't have insurance, that they're just kind of...
We thought about that. And my mom thought about that, and I said, well, that would be unethical, first of all.
Well,
because
it wouldn't surprise me, though. I mean,
it wouldn't. And so, but because doctors don't care, the hospital doesn't care, you know what I mean? They're going to get their money one way or another. Like, you know what I mean? Like the nurse that's coming in is getting an hourly paycheck.
Right.
So, well, and it turns out my mom talked to someone else who had something similar. It might have even been pancreatitis.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was very wealthy,
Right.
but he was insured. And it turns out that the course of treatment that his doctor recommended was based on what the insurance would pay for, rather than what the doctor thought might be best. So it actually turns out that going in uninsured opens up the doors for doctors to do what they feel is more appropriate, rather than saying, well, your insurance won't cover this. Okay? So I don't know the answer.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know the answer. But my point is, my dad...
This is very discouraging.
I know. My point is, my dad has had 5 different hospitalists. I believe they're all internal medicine residents. Well, they're done with residency because they're attending physicians, right? None of them consulted a gastroenterologist, and none of them consulted a surgeon. The only doctor who consulted a surgeon was the ER physician, was not the attending physician or the hospitalist that admitted my dad. 5 different doctors, and they're all great guys. I liked talking to all of them, right? But I talked to one doctor who I happened to work with. How serendipitous is that? That I happen to be recruiting only gastroenterologists right now. You know, I talked to one doctor, and she's like, he needs a GI consult immediately. Ashley's mom talks to one doctor. He needs to be on a feeding tube immediately. And both those things get done after I bring them up. And I was like, I am not the doctor here. So the amount of trust you place in a doctor's hands is what I'm telling you is it's okay to ask for things. It's okay for it to be uncomfortable. I don't know if I'll ever see that doctor again who called all the GIs, but you know what? He did go do it.
Is this IHC or Mountain Star?
IHC. So he did call.
Do you have a lawsuit here? I mean, I just seems...
It depends on what happens here, right?
Seems,
I have it all I all have it cataloged and written down. Number one, my mom sends a text message that's like a novel long every morning to us kids and close friends about what's happened with my dad during the evening, how things are going. You know, he's home now with a feeding tube, still has some stomach pain. But the good news is, he has an appointment with Dr. Adler tomorrow. I'm going to go. He is the number 1 ERCP gastroenterologist specialist in the country. And typically, just so everyone knows, if you ever need a specialist, so here's what a GI goes through, okay? They go to medical school. They go to residency in internal medicine, right? And then you can become a hospitalist. Mm-hmm. If you want to become a gastroenterologist, you have to go for another 2 to 4 years in fellowship. And then, if you want to do one of these crazy procedures like an ERCP, it's another 2 to 4 years where you do like 2,000 of them, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a crazy amount of school.
Right.
You're talking like a whole other PhD on top of already being a doctor, you know, to do these procedures. So my point is, and this is what the doctor in California who I've been working with told me, she's like, if you need a special procedure, I don't care how big the hospital is that you're at. You're not going to find them unless it's a teaching hospital.
That makes sense.
So, word to the wise. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm probably going to write a strongly worded letter.
Well, that whole thing is discouraging, and what actually is even more discouraging to me is what you said about the wealthy man with the insurance.
Right,
his insurance was dictating his
right. He could have canceled his insurance and just paid cash.
That's not,
and maybe got better treatment.
I don't like that the insurance shouldn't be involved in that at all.
No,
not even a little.
But insurance companies are. They think they have algorithms for treatment plans, and they say no. based on our data, this treatment plan is the best course.
Yeah, because everyone's the same.
Exactly. To an insurance company, everyone is the same.
I can't stand insurance companies.
Yeah.
All of them. They're all. I just don't understand why anyone thinks that our medical system is.
No, and
It's
we're probably going to be doing some fundraisers for my dad, so
Yeah.
stand by for those. But he's probably going to have. We won't know till tomorrow, but just based on reading and stuff, if he needs to have it debrided, if there's infection in the pancreas, it takes like 3 or 4 ERCP procedures over the course of a few weeks.
wow.
You can't get it all at once. The pancreas is super sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I was watching a procedure and I couldn't believe how careful they were. You watch some surgeries and it's just crazy.
Right.
Watch like a knee replacement. There's hammers and saws and they're just banging away in there. This was like, I can't believe how delicate they are. So, prayers for my dad. But you know what? Do your homework. Call anyone you know who might even know a little bit.
Right.
And I'm just lucky that I met this doctor.
Dang.
At work. So I didn't mean to commandeer the beginning of the show,
No,
but
no.
it's been weighing on me. My whole morning at work was wasted because I was just researching this and I was in a cycle
Right.
of like I had to walk away. I had to
Right.
go take a walk. So I was just worried about my dad, and it just pisses you off when it's someone you love, let alone you're talking about a guy you don't even know with the insurance.
Well, yeah, that's really that's really upsetting.
Yeah.
That it just goes to show why people with money
It's
live
almost
so long, and
And it's almost as if you should, like, if your doctor recommends a course of action, ask why.
right,
Why? Is the insurance company telling you to do it that way? How would you do it? If this was your dad or son or daughter, whatever, how would you proceed? Because
Right.
I'll pay extra.
yeah,
You can bill me.
I'll fight the insurance.
Yeah,
company,
you can
man.
bill me later. I want your treatment plan and that of 3 or 4 other doctors' opinions.
No, insurance is such a scam.
'Cause
It
even
is, man.
now-
it's ridiculous.
Even now, the surgeon at McKay,
Uh-huh.
he's a specialist in pancreas. He's great, but he does surgery. He does open surgery. So
Right.
he and Dr. Adler are kind of, they're not, I don't think they're like fighting or anything, but they're both consulting, saying, which way do you think would be better for Rick?
Right.
So anyway, we'll know more tomorrow.
Well, there's a couple things actually that's been pissing me off. All right, I thought I was going to come in here hot and
I'm not as hot as I am just like discouraged. I was really hot a few days ago,
Yeah.
but I'm more just discouraged now. And I mean, I'm encouraged that my dad finally has the appointment.
right.
But anyway, go ahead.
So there I was the other day.
Were you at Maverick?
No,
Okay.
I had attended Maverick before but I was driving south to go hang out with a friend in Utah County, and I was running a little late, and I was going 96 miles per hour on the
Okay.
interstate.
Okay.
Okay,
Speed limit 75 here.
no, it's
Speed limit
it's
70 here. I don't know. I don't even know.
Wow. I was going 96, and I was in the HOV lane, which I have a pass for,
Yeah, you're paying the toll.
so that's fine.
Yeah.
So I blow by a state trooper, and I, of course, yell an expletive and slam on the brake.
You should have just started running, man.
No. Here's why I'm pissed off, okay?
Okay.
He did nothing. He did nothing, okay? Now, I know I should be grateful, right?
26
But I
over.
swear the highway patrol here does not do anything.
96.
I was 96 in an HOV lane, okay? He didn't know I had a pass.
What city? I mean, I know it's Stades, but
It was by the first point, Bountiful, I guess,
okay.
around there. And I actually no, it was Salt Lake. It was in Salt Lake, and come on, man!
you're like wanting.
How fast do I have to go
Let's
to
crowdsource.
get pulled over
Get
here?
some cash to pay a ticket, and just to see what we can pull off. I got pulled over a couple of years ago doing 80 in the HOV.
I
lane.
have gotten pulled over going 74.
74.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
yeah.
I was probably actually doing 85, but when he came to my window, he's like, "I clocked you at 80. That's kind of my threshold. Just don't do it again. Give me a warning."
Yeah.
But 96, he's like, "I'm not going to catch up."
And then the next day I was driving around and you see people pulled over like in a row right?
Yeah,
And that's what they do. They
Yeah.
go on a blitz like once a month,
Right.
pull over everyone they need to, and then it's anarchy the rest of the year.
Right.
It's anarchy. No one, everyone's flying in and out of the HOV lane
Right.
without a pass.
Going over the double white.
Going over the double white, going whatever speed limit they want. It's complete anarchy, and they don't do anything. I feel like we have the most worthless highway patrol. I'm going on record, all right? The most
Worst
worst
in the union.
highway patrol in the United States. They don't do anything.
You know, while we're talking about police, maybe you could ask your police friend about this one. This was a city cop.
Go ahead. My friend who's a cop. So, just so you know, all the cops in Utah, they can pull you over wherever. It
Right.
doesn't matter what jurisdiction they're in
Right.
or whatever.
That's a myth.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a complete. Well, it is like that in some places, but here it's a different kind
Yeah.
of deal. But anyway, but most city cops don't pull over people on the interstate. They just don't.
No. Yeah. I don't
Uh,
think I've ever seen that.
No, they don't like to. They don't want to. But my friend did.
He did?
And I was there the next day, and everyone was giving him crap for it. It was hilarious.
Hey,
Oh,
you
anyway,
saw something egregious.
yeah,
So I was on Riverdale Road.
yeah,
So it's, 3 lanes each way
yeah.
with no emergency lane. There's very little emergency lane.
That's true.
And I turn onto Riverdale, and I see the lights. I'm like, someone got pulled over, right? So I give him he's in the middle of the lane, so you have to move over because there's no emergency lane.
Right.
You know? There's no car in front of him.
But
He was just there. And now, I understand that if you just pulled someone over, you got some paperwork, some computer work, whatever you do, but can't you just go pull
not be
into
in
a
the middle of the
driveway?
road. Yeah, that's normally what
You know?
they do. I don't know.
It just...
There. Hopefully, there was another reason for that.
There's 2 lanes. I know it's petty and stupid, but it's not very safe. And you could there was literally a driveway right in front of him to pull into like that freaking complex, you know? I was like, what are you doing? I almost stopped and knocked
You're
on
like,
his window.
excuse me, officer.
Can I do this?
Citizen's arrest here.
Yeah. Would you run into Chick-fil-A real quick or something?
Oh, anyway, then this actually didn't piss me off, but Monday of this week, I was driving out of my neighborhood and I saw a crow that was injured, and I rescued him.
Oh, good for
I
you.
picked him up and I took him to the animal rehab center, and they're looking for volunteers, so I might volunteer and take care of all the
Hey.
birds there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You do have an affinity for birds. You're the
Yeah.
Ace Ventura of birds.
Yeah,
Yeah. Crows are smart, man.
yeah, I
You
know.
ever seen them drop the nuts?
Yeah, they do it all the time in my neighborhood. They're all
Yeah.
over the place for some reason, but
They're good luck.
yeah. Now on to something that did piss me off. I try to, I have conservative friends on Facebook,
Yeah.
and some of them post stuff, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. You're whatever. Believe whatever you want to believe. But this meme really pissed me off.
right.
I
I know.
contemplated saying something, but I knew it doesn't matter what you say because their mind is made up.
I
But
get arguments
here
about memes all the time.
is the meme. It's a picture of Jesus and Barack Obama. And there is a caption over Barack Obama that says, "Trump's reversing all of my policies."
Which is true. He's admitted to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there is a caption over Jesus that says, "Democrats are reversing all of mine."
What? What? If you had to choose who was more Christ-like between Barack Obama and Donald, whatever his middle name is, Trump,
Right.
who would you choose? Seriously.
So here is, you know how Jesus was into, cheating on wives and screwing people over.
Jesus is a socialist.
No, so
It's a theocracy.
So because of this, I got on Google and I was like, would Jesus vote Democrat or Republican?
He'd vote independent.
Yeah, and every website, every legitimate website that you read would be, first of all, their argument would be like, yeah, Jesus wouldn't care.
Right.
Jesus didn't care about politics. He
No.
was just like, follow me.
That's true.
You know,
Remember,
just
there's
be
even
kind,
a story in the
man.
Bible where someone says should I pay this money to you?
Right.
And he says, whose face is on that coin?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Caesar's.
Yeah, he
Well,
says-
render Caesar what is Caesar's.
Exactly.
He didn't care.
Yeah, Jesus doesn't care. He doesn't care about your politics. He doesn't care about your squabbles
We should
at
all
all.
be like Jesus and stop caring.
Yeah.
Actually, well, it's kind of apathy's kind of whatever. Okay,
Anyway,
go on.
but then through most of the websites that I read through, most people agreed that Jesus would be more of a liberal.
He'd totally be a liberal.
Now,
There,
I didn't ask this person what the hell they're talking
what
about.
policies.
I want to know what policies that Barack Obama or the Democrats, because it does say the Democrats are reversing mine. I want to know what policies that they have put in place that Jesus would disagree with. Is it their health care for everyone? Is it their open borders? Because Jesus is like,
Right.
I think you should pay a high price for health care and probably not get the best service. And hey, if you have pancreatitis, screw you.
Whatever. You can't afford it.
Yeah. Or would Jesus be like, hey, maybe we should take care of everyone?
Well, what was his second great commandment?
Yeah, look at the 10 Commandments.
Not even the 10. Jesus came and they said, "What's the greatest commandment?" And he said, "To love thy God with all thy heart." And they said, "Okay, what's the second commandment?" It's much like the first. It's just to love thy neighbor as you would love yourself.
Right.
On this hangs all the laws and the prophets. He gave no other commandment at that time. While he was alive on the earth, he gave no other commandment.
Right.
None. He said, "Love thy neighbor." That's it. But Mexico is clearly not our neighbor. So
I don't understand why the Republican Party has this affiliation with Christianity when their policies. Someone explain to me. Someone please explain to me how the Republican Party's policies align with Christianity in any freaking way.
they don't.
They do
They don't.
not. You tell me something Trump has done that Jesus would be like, yeah,
Right.
cool, man. Because it's not sure shit not keeping kids in cages.
Right.
It's not reversing all of Obama's healthcare policies. It's not lowering the taxes on the rich. It's not.
Rolling back regulation that kills the earth.
It's not.
Yeah.
Please, someone for the love of God, explain to me what the hell this meme is talking about.
I've never understood how the right commandeered Christianity. I'm a Christian and I'm a liberal. I'm a registered Democrat, and it's awkward
It is,
It's
and
awkward.
it's so.
And I don't
it
understand
doesn't
why.
Make any sense?
because
The only ground they have, I guess, is abortion. I guess that's it. Is the woman's right to choose?
they got abortion and gay rights.
Jesus would be whatever with gay rights.
That's true.
He would
because-
say,
be-
"I just love you. Do
Well,
what
for
you
one
need to
thing,
do."
I've had this discussion a lot because if Jesus is the God of the Old Testament, which most scholars say,
Right.
is that he, and because most Christians believe in a Trinity, so yes, he is the same. Then you could make the argument that he's opposed to homosexuality based on things in like Leviticus, right? A book written by Moses. So now, that being said, he wasn't opposed to homosexuals getting married. He was opposed to homosexuality. And so the real, quote unquote, righteous thing to do, I put that in quotes because I don't believe it. The righteous thing to do would be to try and outlaw gay sex.
Right.
What does a piece of paper have to do with anything? Right? So I've had this argument before.
Right.
Abortion, even that one, I'm not entirely sure where it came from. I don't know of anywhere in the scriptures where it talks about abortion. I know that at least the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is mostly opposed to abortion,
Well,
with exception of they actually have the most probably normal stance of most religions. I
Right.
would say that in cases of rape or incest, the church is okay with it.
Yeah.
But I
look, I get that abortion is your leg to stand on.
I think
okay,
you know what it
but
is.
if you think for 2 seconds that Republicans are against killing things, then you are wrong because
punishment.
it is the capital punishment,
War.
going to war
Yep.
for no frickin' reason.
It's a crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a religion. At this point, the war in the Middle East, I don't know what's worse, a war about oil or a war on religion. Because right now it's turned into a war on religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw memes, man. Memes are destroying everyone's ability to critically think.
If anyone saw this meme and was like, yeah,
I saw
then they're a dumbass.
I saw a hardcore conservative share a meme that said it was a picture of a soccer player, kicking a ball. The ball happened to be the star and crescent moon of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kick Islam out of America. So I kindly quoted the First Amendment to him.
Mm-hmm.
Said this was written by James Madison, ratified by the states as the First Amendment, just FYI. You know, I know you think you got your Second Amendment, but you can't forget the first, which is that they're free to worship, and there are 1.3 billion Muslims.
Right.
If they all wanted to kill us, we would already be dead.
Right.
Just saying. I hate memes so bad. I hate them. They are just they are what sway elections.
Yeah.
In fact, I was just reading an article before you came over about a Republican GOP gubernatorial candidate somewhere in the South. I want to say Mississippi or Alabama. Running for governor, a female reporter asked to go on the road with him, so to speak, shadow his campaign.
Okay.
He said, not without a male chaperone.
Mm-hmm.
Not without a male chaperone.
Why? Because he can't trust himself?
Yeah, he's like a Mike Pence situation.
Well, like...
My point here, though, is this. His campaign manager said, if she's on the road with him without a male chaperone, then the press could make insinuations and take pictures of them together and insinuate that there's an extramarital affair. Mm-hmm. And I say one word, Photoshop. That can be done anyway, bro.
Yeah.
That's the point where memes are at, right? Someone could make a meme right now that is a picture of me with a man saying this is Bryan Sherman's boyfriend, right? They're gay. And half the world would believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a meme.
Right.
People don't fake that.
No.
Right? So my point to this Republican gubernatorial candidate is stop blaming your sexism on the press.
Right.
Because if the press wanted to smear you in a negative way that was a lie, they could already do it.
Right.
They could easily post a picture of you with a woman, even if it's fake. You could never even see. It could be a fake woman. It could be a drawn woman, right? And say, this man's having an affair. I have proof, right? Wow. A meme I saw the other day said it was a crime statistics one. Actually, the president shared a couple years ago that got debunked. Mm-hmm. It was about like how many whites kill blacks and all blah, 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 you know? At the bottom, the source said, Crime Statistics Bureau, San Francisco. So they went to the lengths to put a source.
Ooh.
I Googled that source. It doesn't exist. There's not a real thing. There is no Crime Statistics Bureau of San Francisco. So they went to the lengths to make the picture look credible, right? To make the meme look credible, they put in a fake source. They didn't. And if you're going to do that, make it completely legit. Just say FBI crime statistics.
Right.
Not Crime Statistics Bureau of San Francisco.
Yeah, super random.
It's unbelievable what people are going to. Stop with the memes.
Yeah. I just.
And by the way, I found a book on Amazon called Jesus Was a Liberal, Reclaiming Christianity for All.
I saw that too today. I don't understand how.
Oh, wait, I have a theory.
Yeah.
It's because, and I'm not saying it's their fault, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but it's because atheists identify with the left.
Yeah, you're right. That's got to be. It's because
I think that plays a role.
Atheists and agnostic and everyone,
Muslims that are in Congress are liberal.
But there's
Jews tend to be liberal, except for Jared Kushner, which I don't know what he is.
But there is a mass majority of the population who is Christian and liberal. Like a lot of black people and
Right.
a lot of Hispanic people. And
I think there's more Christians that are liberal than we think.
oh
You
yeah,
know, as soon as you start talking with people, you realize it. But the problem is the loud, obnoxious ones are red hatters
right.
right now.
I just
I don't understand. I said this in 2016. I do not understand how an evangelical can vote for someone who admitted to grabbing pussies.
yeah.
He admitted to it. He wasn't saying I could or I wish I could or I can. He said you can.
Right.
That's a very important distinction.
Yeah, and Jesus was all about that.
Yep.
You know,
all about it.
Jesus was like, "Let's do this." Mary Magdalene, come on.
Yeah.
You can grab him.
Jeez, what a joke.
What the hell, man?
Oh man.
don't know.
Update on the story we shared last time, that Alabama woman who
Oh,
was
yeah.
shot. They dismissed the charges.
Oh, good.
FYI. And I thought of a better analogy, and maybe it went away now. Because my analogy was like the liver, right? That didn't work at all. I had another one that was about like intentionally starting a fight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, oh man, maybe it'll come back to me later. But anyway, that's the update on that Alabama. What was Marche Jones, I believe was her name. They dropped the manslaughter charges against her
Yeah.
for intentionally starting a fight that led to her getting shot and killing her fetus. Yeah.
Fetus Killer is going to be at Warped
Yeah.
Tour, I think.
By the way, the Art Take Podcast is brought to you by the Minutia Podcast from Scott Moses. Go find it on SoundCloud, and also by Teacher Vet. Awesome podcast about veterinary medicine. It's on, well, that one's everywhere you can find podcasts.
Wait, Scotty's not?
Not yet. He's on SoundCloud.
Oh, Scotty, come
He's
on,
a SoundCloud
bro.
hound. Or maybe he's on Spotify. Whatever. Minutia.
Just look it up. When we come back, I've got a few random headlines. Alligators. That's all I remember. And we will reveal the answer to Guess the Movie,
yeah.
even though someone got it on Facebook already, but we will reveal that answer. And we'll probably talk about everyone's pet peeve. So stick in there. Less anger when we come back.
And now, a message from the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, I would like to address reports alleging that I was friends with billionaire convicted sexual predator Jeffrey Epstein and attended his infamous parties. Sure, I told New York Magazine in 2002 that Epstein is a terrific guy. But that was before I found out that I said later in the same sentence that he likes beautiful women on the younger side. I knew I had to cut off our relationship right then and several years after there. Now I've brought someone who can confirm that we are very innocent.
Hey everybody, it's me, America's Cold Sore. Every few years I pop up and remind you of your bad choices in the 90s. I have never been to Jeffrey Epstein's home on 71st Street between 5th and Madison near Jody's Juice. Try the strawberry, it's delicious.
And why would I go to Epstein's home? I don't want to be reminded of the things I've seen there.
Let's talk about the so-called Epstein jet on which Jeffy Boy and his friends, who know him as Jeffy Boy, allegedly committed vile acts.
Sure, witnesses allege we were passengers, but so is Kevin Spacey.
I don't think this Boy Scout would let anything untoward happen up there. The only reason I was on that jet 4 times was it was the best deal on kayak.com.
And I promise I didn't smoke a cigarette in the bathroom.
Which is the only law in the sky, according to our attorney, Alan Dershowitz.
Dershie boy!
He litigates like his freedom depends on it.
And it does. You know, Bill and I may disagree on health care and criminal justice.
Barely.
But we are unified against these all but undeniable accusations.
In the end, aren't we all just Americans accused of the most ghastly crime imaginable?
And on an unrelated note, I am naming a new Deputy Attorney General, Jeffrey Epstein. I'm also pardoning him and having his mouth filled with cement.
Don't you crack, Jeffy boy! We're sending a rope of potato chips down that well! I promise.
Bill, you're my best friend.
And you're mine. We're gonna get through this together, little brother.
I can't believe we almost let Hillary tear us apart.
This has been a message from 2 presidents of the United States.
This is the Our Take Podcast. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Okay. Got, I think, 4 random headlines, and 2 of them have follow-up questions I get to ask you.
Extra random headline.
The first one. Now, imagine, if you will, you're in a park, with a big pond. We have some of those here.
Sure.
There's ducks, and I don't know, this particular pond had a swimming area. But would you, what kind of things would you expect to find in a pond here?
Like if I was diving or
Yeah.
something?
What kind of animals, actually?
Oh, animals. Ducks.
Yeah.
Probably like a big goldfish, a koi.
Right. What would you do if you saw an alligator?
Oh, dude. I would probably shit my pants, hoping on purpose, hoping that the shit would keep him away.
So, Chicago is not known to have alligators.
Did they have one rain down on them by a water spout?
No. But Chicago police have cracked the case, and they have found a 4 to 5 foot alligator living in a lagoon at one of the city's most popular parks.
Are people crack the case? Are people being eaten?
No, I don't think so.
We've had several people disappear in this park.
I think that people were just like, is that an alligator?
4 to 5. That's not that big. So it's probably not that old.
It's as tall as...
Well, I mean, have you seen old alligators? They're like
I don't think alligators...
17 feet.
Well, crocodiles get really big. I don't know if alligators get...
That's true.
That I mean, they get big, but...
I always mix them up.
Anyway, they're trying to catch it, obviously, and they're going to relocate it to a zoo because alligators would freeze to death in Chicago. It's lucky it's summer.
That's true. How did it
know.
freaking get... Someone had to have brought it in.
It's got to be a pet that someone put in there and it's grown.
Someone from Florida moved to Chicago and it got out.
I think you can buy alligators. I don't know why.
Aren't they like an invasive? Are they considered an invasive species?
I would imagine so.
Dude, okay, here we go. American alligator, 9.8 to 15 feet.
Whoa, dang. So, yeah, that's a baby.
They can get up to 500 pounds.
Dang. So you don't want to mess with them. You do not want to mess with them. Now, you'll recall a couple months ago we talked about a pigeon going up for auction.
Oh, yeah.
I
homing?
believe, a homing pigeon.
Called?
I believe the winner was from Japan, or the auction happened in Japan. But
yes,
here is another crazy auction in Japan. A bunch of 24 grapes. 24 grapes, just a stem of grapes, went up for auction.
Is that what a grouping of grapes is called? A bunch?
Sure.
All right.
That's what this says. Apparently, they're rare red grapes. Now, I don't know because the picture here looks like the grapes that I get at Smith's for 79 cents a pound or whatever.
Where was this?
Japan.
All right.
Now, it went to auction. Any guess on how much 24 grapes
Man, I don't want to know.
went for?
Let's say $10,000 a piece.
Okay, that's a little much. It's a little much.
$1,000 a piece. 24,000.
No, $11,000.
That's absurd.
It's yeah.
Like, are they for eating? These particular grapes?
It doesn't say. It just says
Because eventually they're going to raisin.
Well, 24 grapes isn't enough to make wine, so that's not what it is, right? Unless they're just going to make like a
shot glass,
a teaspoon. No, not even that.
That's true.
Have you seen the big buckets that they use?
Yeah, they're huge
to get. Yeah. Anyway, so only about 26,000 ruby Roman grapes are expected to be sold this year. And I guess they keep the demand high by not growing that many.
Ruby Roman grapes, a variety of table grape grown and marketed entirely in Ishikawa Prefecture, Japan.
I mean,
Oh, they're big.
oh yeah, they are big. I just
Ping
saw
pong
that.
ball size.
Yeah, they're
Dude,
huge.
I would like a ping
That's
pong.
more of a plum than a grape, I would say.
But does a plum, pop? Like a grape?
No, they don't. They're not. They're a little thicker.
I'm
They
not
don't
sure
have
I've
that-
ever had a plum, is what I'm saying.
Oh. They're no. I mean, they kind of have a similar texture to grapes, but not really.
Oh, yeah, $26 per grape
Dang.
is the...
Wait. So why did that one go for 11,000?
I don't know. It must have been a different genus.
Was it like covered in gold or something?
It's the
Oh,
gold
man,
leaf.
I don't understand. I hate.
It's
rich
because
people.
this is the trickery of marketing. If you say it's worth $11,000, there's a sucker born every minute,
That's true.
right? And some of them have money. To add on to the adage, there's a sucker born every minute. Some of them have money.
Right.
Yeah. The alligator story reminded me. Have you seen the YouTube video of the guys who put like a little remote control boat on an alligator head and drive it around the river?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, dude, it's hilarious. I would be so freaked out, but I'm pretty sure I would laugh my ass off.
Right.
If they
Eventually.
did it to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, police in Georgia, all right, are warning witnesses that they could potentially go to jail because a armored truck traveling down the interstate lost its load.
Ugh.
So it lost a bunch of cash, and there's a
Dude, people are scrambling.
yeah, there's people all over the place trying to get the money.
Yeah.
And police are saying, hey, it's technically stolen money. You should bring that back.
It's technically lost money.
Yeah. So
finders keepers. Bro.
here is my question. Would you return the money?
There's a threshold.
Okay.
So we have to figure out the threshold at which you would do it.
Right.
So let's just start working our way up.
All right.
You're on the side of the road with, let's say, a dozen other people
Uh-huh.
scrambling,
Right.
and you're able to collect $100.
Yeah, I'm not keeping that back.
No, I'd
No,
keep
No
that.
freaking way.
Let's just keep working our way up here.
All right.
$1,000,
I know.
$10,000.
Probably not. No, I mean,
I-
what? It depends. It depends if my car is in this video and they see my license plate. But even then, they have no evidence, no proof
No.
that I have, unless they look under my mattress
Yeah,
or wherever.
The true crime is that someone recorded it.
That's
that's
true.
the crime.
That's true.
Yeah, that
the mob
asshole-
mentality should
yeah.
have been like, shut that off.
Slam. Yeah,
Back up into him. Bam.
I think 10 grand. I think I'd still keep 10 grand.
Yeah.
100 grand.
I would keep. Well, at that
Is there
point,
no threshold for you?
no.
At that point, you can
Dude,
afford a lawyer.
As much as I hate corporations, I don't care. The money's all insured.
It's insured.
The money is all
That is
insured.
true.
They're gonna get it back anyway.
Which I don't understand how that insurance works.
I don't know.
We're all paying for it, right?
Yeah. That's,
Like taxpayers are paying for that insurance.
yeah. We're also paying for money to get printed, but hey,
Man, have you ever been to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing?
a long time
In
ago.
DC, I went to the one in DC. That's legit.
Yeah.
There's a woman there
Uh-huh.
who, have I told you this story?
No.
Every single bill that
Uh-huh.
comes off the line, she sorts through with her thumb. She grabs a stack like that's 4 inches and just looks at it because she can see little imperfections. Like if
Oh.
a border is off or
Oh.
ink is missing. Every single bill. It's not like she just takes a batch.
Mm-hmm.
Her callus on her thumb looked like a testicle. Like I don't know.
That's so gross.
Imagine that's your job. 8 hours a day. You grab a stack of 20s. That looks good.
Do they just throw out the bad money like in the dumpster behind?
That's the thing. So in the gift shop, it's really cool. I bought some.
Oh,
you can
really?
buy little baggies of shredded money.
Oh, just
It's cool.
put them back together. No, I don't know.
I could
Yeah,
try
I'm just
that.
joking.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. I saw a pallet that was 4 feet high,
Uh-huh.
hundreds,
Ugh,
and I think they said it was 10 million.
probably.
I was like, man,
Ridiculous.
that's unreal.
Anyway, I don't know if I thought I could get away with it. I can't imagine there'd be much of a threshold.
No
for me.
threshold for you.
Because there's no way they can really. Even if you were there, you could just say, "Oh man, I
How about this?
I put it down and I didn't take any."
Right. How about this? you get away with not get away. You take 100,000, and then they call you,
Yeah.
and how much would you give back? You're like, yeah, I picked up 1,000.
Minus my student loan debt. Hold on, let me do some calculations. Oh yeah, I only got 10,000.
$100,000 in hundreds.
Yeah,
is not. That's a very small stack.
Right.
Like it adds up so fast.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's coins.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Coins. I don't even know if I'd spend my time. Like.
No, that would take forever. That'd be hardly worth the
so
effort.
Heavy. But yeah, cash. They call you like, hey, we got you on camera taking some money. Oh yeah, I found $1,000. I'll give it back.
Yeah,
when
that's what I would do.
So you're left with 99,000.
That's what I would do.
Yeah,
because that's all they can't possibly expect to indict any of these people.
How did an armored truck though?
I don't know.
Did they leave the door open?
I don't know.
You know those things weigh like
getting fired.
They weigh like 40,000 pounds.
Yeah, I know. I love how the guys are all they've got guns and there was a guy
they'll shoot you through that little porthole.
Yeah. They're not even allowed to shoot you unless you
shoot them.
Yeah,
shoot.
Like
don't engage
it's
unless
just
engaged.
for defense. Like,
no, it's just paper, dude.
They're all like failed cops that just which actually makes them super dangerous. But anyway,
it's like a baby rattlesnake.
Yeah. So a mom in where's this at? Oh, Illinois. Illinois, both of them,
or Illinois.
Illinois
is the
I guess
the preferred.
She got pulled over and arrested for driving her car with an inflatable pool on top.
Okay. Boy, arrested?
Yeah.
That's silly.
Is it because there were 2 kids inside the pool?
Oh my gosh! Is there a picture? There were children, so that is a crossover Audi.
Yeah.
A little inflatable pool. It's what, 2 feet maybe?
Yeah.
There were children. It's not strapped down.
No, she's just, I don't understand. She's just cruising around with the freaking, the pool on top. I guess maybe she thought it would be.
If I were the cop, I would take the pool.
I mean, does that woman look like a responsible parent?
No.
She's not what I expected, though, to be honest.
No. If I were the cop, I would put the pool on my cop car and put her in the pool and then drive around.
She said she told officers that she was driving back from her friend's house where she inflated the pool and was using the girls to hold it down on top
of the
my
God. That's even worse, man.
I would not admit to that.
No, that's worse.
I'd say I was drunk. I was drunk.
Yeah, I was drunk. Or I thought it would be fun. Not I was using them for practical weight
this
as a
is
paperweight.
Dumb person. Dumb. Oh, speaking.
It's lucky that she got pulled over.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't. How could you?
What speed do you have to get to before that thing kites off?
What reality does that make any freaking sense?
Just deflate the pool.
Oh, I know. Oh, people are so stupid.
Oh, I passed out inflating, and I can't do that again.
I know. Anyway, speaking of stupid people getting arrested, I, based on your advice, I started watching Live PD.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch the... Wait.
I couldn't find it.
So that one...
I watched the first episode of Live Rescue, and that
No. It's First Responders Live.
Yeah, that's... Is that a different one?
There's Live PD.
Uh-huh.
PD Cam.
Okay.
First Responders Live. And then what was the one you just said?
Live Rescue.
Live Rescue. It's First Responders Live. And, of course, you can't forget the king. Cops.
Well, yeah.
Right? Although Live PD, man... Actually, PD Cam. Here's what PD Cam does. They take all the live PD footage and find the best shit and put it together.
Oh, this is a completely different show altogether.
Yeah. You were looking for the ATV guy.
Yeah. I didn't see it.
Oh, man.
So now I got to watch this on Fox.
Yeah.
And
I've been watching a lot of PD Cam, though. Sean Sticks Larson is the host.
No, so on the Live Rescue one.
I've never watched Live Rescue.
It's the same thing as Live PD, except it's with the fire department.
And then First Responders Live put them all together.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess.
That makes sense. But now they get around the blurring faces because they do it live.
Right.
It actually is live. I've looked into this. It is live. Of course, there's like a delay.
Right.
But
although I heard that Live PD, I don't know about the other one.
Uh-huh.
I've heard that Live PD will sometimes do like 3 or 4 hours afterwards, and they'll say a short time ago.
They do, yeah.
But is there really any law?
Yeah, there is, but they're classifying it as news.
As news, right?
And that's how they get around the blurred faces. And I guess they have a team of lawyers in their production staff that are there while they're on the air, making sure that everything they do is legal.
So I told you about This American Life, talking about it.
Yeah.
On Cops, there's people who have come out who are arrested on Cops and said that the cop told them, if you don't sign this release, I'll take you to jail.
Ugh.
So they're like threatening. So it gets a little hairy.
Yeah, that's,
Not to mention that the Cops producers are throwing a piece of paper in your face at your worst moment.
Yeah. So I really don't have a problem. I don't really have a problem with any of it, really. But
I don't really care.
When it comes to criminals, especially, it doesn't bother me.
No.
Now, with the rescue one to me, that gets a little weird because these are people.
These are victims.
They are victims.
Yeah.
They're not blurred. They are. Some of it's embarrassing. Like this fat lady fell and she's stuck in between her car essentially, and they're having to and it's all on camera, and she's saying this is so embarrassing. And I'm like,
you can blur the face.
They don't though. They don't.
I did watch. So I was watching PD Cam yesterday, and they did blur one. It's the first time I've seen one blurred on PD Cam. It was a cop who was off duty.
Yeah.
On a wave runner, and I don't know, he's wearing a GoPro or something, and he watched a guy take a jump off a wave. I've never seen someone take a wave like this guy did. His wave run, it was like 20 feet in the air. Like, I scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I've taken some jumps on wave runners where I've bailed. But anyway, he smacked his face, cut open his chin, and he was out. He was face down in the water when the cops swam to him. They blurred his face. So I don't know if he requested it after the fact because it wasn't really considered live PD,
on live PD, I've seen them blur because I don't watch it live. I don't. I mean, I guess I could.
So I guess
because they cut it down.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-hour show and they cut it down to like 40 minutes or something.
So I think PD Cam isn't necessarily stuff that was captured live. It was it's stuff that's only captured by dash cam, body cam, whatever, security cam. That makes make a little bit more sense now.
But yeah, I can't imagine. It feels like at some point this live rescue thing is going to get shut down because
just blur the face. That's decent. Just do the decent thing.
Well, they can't. I don't think they can if it's live. And so it's literally live, and that's how they get around the face blurring. But at the same time,
couldn't they have a guy like with a
someone's
computer?
Someone's going to get pissed off at him.
In the production studio that like follows her face with a pen.
I don't know.
I don't know how.
I don't know. I don't.
If you can draw a line on a live football game.
No, I'm sure that there is a way to track, but I don't know how well it would work.
Right. At least they could try, though.
Yeah. I don't know. There is just some situations are fine, but I just think that there's certain ones where I'm just like, this is. Here's the ATV.
Blurring takes away from the intensity, man.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It seems like at some point someone's going to be like, this is not okay. But anyway, speaking of things not being okay. I ran into a list. Oh, wait. First of all, I closed the website.
You going to pet peeves?
I am,
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
About attempted murder versus murder?
That's lively, but yeah.
I can't remember what I was watching, but I typed it into our notes here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, it's cool. If I try and kill someone, with the intent to kill them.
I'm a little worried that you're.
Let me get your legal advice.
For advice here?
No, if I try to kill someone, I'm on my roof and I'm shooting people.
Okay.
And I shoot someone. And I was trying to kill them.
Yeah.
They don't die. I get charged with attempted murder.
Right.
Which carries a lesser sentence than murder.
Oh.
Does that make sense? It's never made sense to me. Like, you're lucky they didn't die because you'd get the chair, but in your mind, you're still a murderer. Like, you're still...
Yeah, that is kind of dumb, actually.
Unless you, like, pull the trigger, like, immediately regret this decision. But you still made... I've just never understood why it's a lesser charge.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like, no, you tried to kill people.
Yeah.
Someone, a person, anybody.
Yeah.
That should be the same charge.
I guess maybe...
I should have saved that for closing arguments.
Yeah, you should... Well... I think I think the difference would be like you're in a fight, kind of like the one with the, a scuffle, and then in the heat
and
you pull a trigger. I think that
premeditated attempted murder should be the same as murder.
Well, but I think in the scenario that you're saying, with the shooting off of a roof, I don't think that would come with a lesser charge because that's premeditated.
Well, that's the question. Does premeditated attempted murder carry the same weight as
I think
murder?
premeditated murder is more in...
Oh, no, it's definitely worse.
In line with...
But attempted.
Well, like I said, I think attempted murder would be more of... I tried to kill someone, but it was not premeditated. It was in the heat of the moment.
But if I'm on my roof shooting someone and they don't die,
then I don't think it would carry the same weight as... But I think it would carry a similar weight to...
But the charge is still called attempted murder.
Right. But don't you think that it would probably carry a heavy...
That's my point.
Heavier
That's my
sentence?
point, is it should, and I'm not sure it does. I want clarification.
Yeah, I
is
don't
what
know.
I'm saying.
Do we have any judge friends?
No, I got a lawyer friend, though. In fact, we're going to have Jake on because he sent me a case that will blow your socks off.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
That's not good. It's not a fun time.
Okay.
That's what we talk about here.
Well, this is a fun time, and one of your good friends, Kurt. Who's Kurt?
I saw Kurt on my birthday, first time in a couple years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He hasn't aged.
No, he's very handsome. So is his brother. Bastards. Anyway,
good old Anthony, man. I miss Anthony.
I know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years and years.
He's a chef.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Anyway, Kurt guessed the answer to...
Oh, that's right.
The movie question. Irresponsible... Well, what is this? The bad plot explanation.
Bad plot explanation. We put it out.
Yeah.
And we give the bad plot explanation, and you can guess on our Facebook page at the Arctic Pod.
Right. The question was, or the bad plot explanation was... Irresponsible 11-year-old murders teacher, steals valuable historic artifact. And the answer was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Who did he murder? I guess not murder.
I actually don't have any idea.
That's the first one, right?
Yeah. I haven't...
I'm not a buff.
I'm not. I haven't seen it. So, I mean, I have seen it, but it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I'm not actually 100% sure...
Nevertheless,
sure.
Congratulations, Kurt.
Yeah.
You get, you know what? Just call me and ask for anything, and I'll give it to you.
I just found another one here. I'll put this one out there. Maybe someone will guess it for next time. The bad plot explanation is just simply a series of naps.
A series of naps. That's the bad plot explanation. Post your answer at the Arctic Pod on Facebook.
A series of naps.
I'll make a meme thing. Oh, fucking memes.
I'll make
a post that has the terms and conditions. Just kidding. What is it again? A series of naps?
A series of naps.
If you can guess that movie, you win something.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of winning things, I found a way to source T-shirts, so we might be able to do
Done.
that. Yeah. All right. Before we go, I found a Huffington Post article called 76 Incredibly Accurate Pet Peeves That Will Drive You Nuts.
I would love to see this across like international.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Boundaries, you know?
There are different cultures don't mind different things.
Different peeves of pet.
Actually, well, I don't know. Some of these are pretty. Anyway, the first three are someone that I am really good friends with has all three of these.
So we're just let's do three.
All right,
we'll do three per episode.
There's so many good ones though.
I know, but I mean, we got to savor it.
All right. Number one, I can agree with this wholeheartedly. Loud chewing. Or people chewing with their mouths open.
Don't you have a coworker who does that? We talked about this. Was he eating a salad?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, loud chewing.
Who was that?
So I have I'm not sure I mind loud chewing. I mean, chewing with your mouth open is what makes it loud, right?
Right.
Here's what gets me. This one gets me. When someone has ice, it's not the chewing of the ice that bothers me. It's the tipping of the cup, the tapping of the cup, and the sound of the ice falling onto their face. And then the tipping back of the cup and the ice falling back to the bottom of the cup. That one, that series of noises, I'm like, dude, just get a fork or a spoon.
That defeats the point.
The up.
I don't eat the ice.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The up, the tap,
I know,
the fall.
I know. I totally, yeah, I get it.
You can eat ice all day around me, but if you have to tap your cup, go get more ice. Yeah.
Number 2, when people are late or make me run late because I'm waiting for them.
All right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just like impatience, but
No,
I'm just kidding. No, I am a super. I try to be punctual.
Chronically late.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at getting places right on time for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm late, I know I'm late. Like it's because I'm not worried about getting there on time.
Right.
Like when I come here. People. The third one is basically the same thing. People who are chronically late. So I don't know what the difference is there.
The first one was maybe someone who makes you late.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then the other one was people who are chronically late.
Yeah.
I would say that chronically late would probably bug me more. Like, dude, just get your act together, man.
Right.
Like, do something.
Right.
Set your clocks forward.
Like the friend that tells you that they are almost there when they haven't even left yet.
Yeah. I can see you on Find Friends.
I know. Let's do one more here. People who scuff their feet as they walk down the street. That doesn't really bother me.
No. Not really. A strut would bother me more.
Yeah.
But I don't really, whatever. Do whatever you want. Do your shoes. Your funeral.
Hearing people bite their nail. Line cutters? I don't know. Maybe these suck.
I don't know. We'll get to them. But I have a good closing argument for today. And it's kind of a pet peeve.
Ooh.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right. It's time then for closing arguments.
Oh, hold on.
And for the most part,
yeah,
when I go out to a restaurant, the servers are pretty on top of getting me my drink refilled.
Yeah, I don't normally have issues unless it's
great.
like IHOP or something.
My pet peeve is why not just make the cups bigger?
That is a good question.
Like, soda's dirt cheap.
Oh, yeah, they make a ton of money on soda.
Ton of money on soda. So it's not like it's going to cut into their margins just to make my cup a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And there are some restaurants around town that have big cups. The server doesn't ever have to refill. It's awesome. Because I drink a lot when I eat.
Yeah, I do too. I
usually get 2 refills.
Oh, I get
at least.
I get way more than that. Like it can get up.
You get one to go. Have you
No,
ever gotten a drink to go?
Only when they've I think I went to Olive Garden and
they
offered
offer it.
Yeah.
An old coworker, every time we went out to lunch, it's like, "Hey, can I get a drink to go?" It's like, "Wait, you didn't pay for that. You paid for a drink here. Now you got to get a cup and a lid."
No, that is.
But just so everybody knows, you can almost anywhere you go, you can ask for a drink to go, and you get it's not a free drink, but it's kind of is.
Yeah, kind of.
It feels like it to me because I've never done it.
Yeah.
So I'm a virgin to the.
But by the time that I'm done at a restaurant, the last thing I want to do is drink anything else.
Right.
Because I seriously.
That's true. That's true.
I get if I go to Chili's, I'll get like 6 refills. Like it's bad.
Although Danny and I have a slogan, which is "There's always room for soda."
Well, yeah.
It just fills in all the gaps around your pancreas. So my argument is, it would cut down on the server's time. You wouldn't have to wash as many dishes, and then I would be happier, which is the most important thing.
I think that they must do it because, I mean, a lot of my ex-wife, she never even finished one of the regular size cups.
Maybe they should ask.
And so if you fill it to the top of a 44-ounce cup, and then that's just lost. Lost revenue.
Hey, I'll be your server tonight. What are you having to drink?
You know what they could do is bring a pitcher. You know, I've actually had that happen to me quite a few times.
A Coke.
It's kind of embarrassing. Can I just bring you a pitcher? Like, yeah, you better.
I'll have a Coke. Do you want like a medium one or a big one? Like, come on.
No, that would be good.
Yeah, big one.
That would be good.
Biggie size.
Yeah. Yeah,
I miss Biggie. Smalls. No,
that was McDonald's, right?
No, it was Wendy's. McDonald's was super size. And then
everyone had to get rid of it.
Freaking, what's that comedian's name that does all those 30 days?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh man, I like that guy. What's his name?
I don't know.
30 Day.
The guy that did Supersize Me?
Yeah. And because he does, and then remember he had a show.
Yeah.
All about it, where he would. Morgan Spurlock.
Oh.
He did a whole a series where he did something for 30 days.
Here's a quick tip for you. All right.
Ask for two. Can you just bring me 2 Cokes?
But here's a quick tip. If you're eating somewhere, I'm trying to think of an example where you, it's a sit down, like let's say Costa Vida or Cafe Rio, where you pour your own drink and you sit down and you eat at the restaurant still.
Right.
Don't get the large.
No. Yeah.
You get the small.
And
and then you refill it
because
it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
Quick tip there.
It's absurd that they even have the option there because they know. I
know. Every time because I do it all the time where it's just out of habit. I'm like, yeah, give me a large drink. And then I'm like, oh, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
So
you know where they get you, though?
Huh.
I went to Arby's, and they're like small, medium, or large on the combo.
Right.
Well, what if I want a large curly fry, but I don't need the big cup. I don't want to pay for the big cup.
Some places, Chick-fil-A
separate
asks.
You want the large fry, but a small drink.
Yeah, you can do that at most places. But it just depends how you order it. Like, whenever I go to Chick-fil-A, I just say, can I get a large number 1? That way they know both are large. But if I say, can I get a number 1 with large fries, then they'll be like, do you want the drink large too?
And is there a price difference?
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
That's what I want. I want a price difference.
Probably
I want a price difference. Anyway, there's your closing argument.
Not.
I have yet to see.
Did we come to a conclusion?
Yeah, I just make the cups bigger.
Make the cups bigger.
Or ask. And I have yet to see a lampshade with the top in the mail, so I guess no one cares.
Well, I did show you where they were available.
I don't
want
to buy one.
Oh.
We have fans.
Oh, yeah, they send us stuff all the time.
P.O. Box 1. Up your ass and to the left. Anyway.
That's a weird address.
It's the Art Take Podcast, episode 59. Find us at the Art Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure to answer the question about the bad plot.
I don't remember.
I can't remember what it is either. A series of naps. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Bryan.
I'm Spencer. We'll see you next time.